Hello. So today I'm going to make chocolate butter balls. So what I have here, 2 sticks of butter. You can melt them, it's easier. I have a little salt, and that's not actually in the recipe, but that's just because this is unsalted butter, and I do feel it's a little better with the salt. Vanilla extract, baking powder, cocoa powder, got some flour, got some sugar, got my egg. That's pretty much it. This is probably the easiest recipe ever to exist, and you basically just throw everything together, blend it up, make little balls, roll them in sugar, bake them, you're done. And I don't know that I've ever met someone that didn't like them. I mean, maybe an absolute chocolate hater would not like them, but for the most part, everybody friggin' loves these things, and they're so easy. I did kind of over melt that. Normally I just soften it, but I think it'll be fine. I'm not going to actually measure that because, like I said, it's not in the recipe, and if I had salted butter I would just use that. And I'm just going to basically start throwing stuff in. I'm going to wait a minute on the egg just to let the butter cool. It's a tablespoon of vanilla. Set that little kid aside. Let's do some sugar. So I'm going for 3/4 cups of sugar. I do have some lumps here in my sugar, but it's okay. Ooh, that's a big one. There we go. Get rid of that kid. Yeah. Whoa. There we go. I think I kind of touched my buttery beaters with my sugar cup here. It's my fine family china. Keep it in the sugar. It's exactly 1 cup. If you ever want 1 cup, it's handy. Let's beat that up real quick. All right, egg. And we're going for 1/2 teaspoon of the baking powder. And mix that real quick. Good old cocoa powder. Now when you put this in, you want to be very gentle. It'll fluff everywhere, and you'll have cocoa powder covering every surface and up your nose, and it's not as pleasant as it sounds. So we're going for cocoa powder, 1/2 cup. So I'm going to do 2 of my quarters here. Set that kid aside. Alright, so the best way to do cocoa powder is to just not turn this thing on for a moment. You just kind of want to wet the cocoa powder. So even at this stage, when I turn this on, there might be some dust, but I'm going to live with it. So this recipe, my mom found it in I don't know, an article, a magazine, a newspaper, a cookbook, something back in the 80s. And I've never seen it before. I've never seen it anywhere. And it's weird because it's so popular. Anytime I need to do something at work or with family, with friends, this is a winner. Oh, I just chocolated my cup here. So we're doing 2.5 cups of flour, and I never sift. I just kind of take the fine china here, pour it in, generally scoop it off, call it a day. It always turns out fine. And the question is, was that 4 or 5? And I won't know till I watch this video back. But I think it was 4. So there's number 5. I hope. Okay. I'm going to kind of do the same a little bit with the flour that I did with the Coco, because if you just turn on a hand mixer, it's going to go everywhere. If you got a spoon you're mixing by hand, that's fine too. I suppose you really would have to melt your butter to liquid then. I tend to, like I said, I just melted a little bit to soft, but that butter was frozen and I just put it in a defrost, but then I forgot about it. So fun times. Always kind of let those suckers spin to get as much material off them as possible. So I'm sure there's some variation with this because I don't weigh the ingredients and I'm not super neurotic about the measuring. So sometimes I'll do this and it will be a little crumbly. Sometimes it's a little more moist, but it's never too wet. I do think too, of course, as you're mixing this, if the butter is all melted, then it will be wetter. Now I do feel like this actually is a little wetter. So I'm just going to throw a little more flour in there. Not too much. Can always add more. You can't take it out. But in the past I have made this and just had this be an absolute like dry crumble, and you just squish it together into bubbles and it's amazing. I think it just looks like it's going to be gooey and harder to work with. It's funny because I've spent time with my bread recipe and I've gotten everything down to a very specific gram level that I know will turn out perfect every time. But that is the only recipe that I've done that with. Alright, that's a little drier. That's fine for me. So, I'm going to get a bowl of sugar and start rolling these puppies. So now we have a bowl of sugar to roll my 1-inch balls in. I made a little cardboard cutout here so I'd have 1 inch, mostly because I couldn't find my normal ruler. I got just a metal pan with parchment paper. Normally I use foil and I just do a quick vegetable oil spray on there, But I happen to have this because I was working on meringue. So maybe I'll get back to that in the future and have a meringue video. For the moment, though, we need to make 1-inch balls. So this is the part where if you haven't already, and you're gonna feed these to other people, scrub your hands. If you want to, you can wear gloves. I just find that sort of weird. I don't know, don't like working with gloves with food, but obviously if you're cooking for strangers, cooking professionally, you got to do it. So I am really bad at eyeballing measurement, and whenever I do this, my little bubbles end up all different sizes. And while that's okay in some things, when you're cooking, you kind of want things to be uniform so that they cook at the same rate. Now these will expand a little bit, but they don't expand crazy-like, so you don't have to give them a huge space, but enough space that everybody gets good circulation and heat and all that. Now even if you have some of these and they're different sized, life goes on. They will cook, they will be fine, they may be a slightly different texture inside, and honestly, I think I prefer mine a little drier, but I don't know. I don't care. I like them. I like them anyway. So typically, how they will most often come out for me is they will be dry for maybe a 1/8 to 1/4 inch, and as you crunch through that, you get to the middle. It's kind of a brownie consistency almost. Now you can dry them out a little more by leaving them in the oven just for a few extra minutes. The directions originally that my mother wrote down from this recipe she found said that to watch the bottom, and when the bottom turned brown, you want to take them out. Now, the whole dang cookie's brown. I can't see when I can't tell if the bottom is browning. It's a brown cookie. So I don't know. I think she was imagining colors at some point back in the 80s. But I find just setting it for 12 to 13 minutes at 350 will pretty much take care of it. I feel like I know more when they're like good and done, when they as they're cooking, of course, they'll puff up, but they'll still be smooth. And then you'll start to get little cracks in them as they really expand out. And that's, I feel when I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's what I want. As a chocolate goes, I'm actually not a huge chocolate fanatic. I like it okay, but I'm not a fanatic. So my chocolate always needs to have like sweetness, sugar. Well, I shouldn't say always. I can eat dark chocolate. I do like it once in a while. I'm just not the person that's going to eat chocolate all the time, basically. But these things are phenomenal, and I can make and I can eat this whole thing, which is why I don't make this. I only make this when I'm going to bring them somewhere. So this is where I'm at. From that, I got that many bubbles. I had one more bubble, but I ate it. And that one I squished and filled with sugar because I'm going to eat it too. But yeah, so quite a few. It's good. And you're just going to throw this in the oven now. So. So nice crisp edge, nice soft middle. Very brownie-like in there. Tasty treats. Enjoy.